have gone dormant. I mean dormant. And so if you're one of them, just keep listening. So a couple of days we were just having a devotion, and then the Holy Spirit just dropped this in us. Lots of people have got gifts, ideas, dreams, visions, things inside of them that have actually like gone very dormant. It's because of things like previous experiences, past failures, disappointments, financial issues, lack of support, and so many like excuses we give for not pursuing these gifts or desires or passions that God has actually deposited in us. And we're reading a text from 2 Timothy chapter 1 verses 5 to 7. And let me just summarize. The passage was talking about Paul's letter to Timothy, encouraging him to fan into fire or fan into flames and the gifts that God has given him. Because at a point I felt like if I was Timothy, I would be very discouraged because the person I'm looking up to has been taken away from me, kept in a prison for actually doing the work of God and doing the things of God. And so at that point I felt like Paul needed to encourage Timothy because he felt very down. He felt like he couldn't do it. He felt like, what if I do it and I am also like kept in prison? I am also stopped. I also have to face this oppression because I am doing the things of God. And that is how many of us feel. Most of us have the desire, we have the gifts, we have the passion, we want to do so many things, but because of our own past failures, maybe you are tempted to do something once, twice, and because you feel that you decided not to pursue it again. If Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, who had to do it over 100 times, has stopped at the second go, then we wouldn't be in light. We wouldn't be having all these nice light bulbs and all these beautiful things we see around. So you do not have to give up. I am also here to encourage you, just as Paul was encouraging Timothy. If you read 1 Timothy chapter 1 verses 5 downwards, Paul was just encouraging Timothy, and that is what I am also doing, myself and yourself. No matter what you're going through, no matter your past experiences, no matter failures, no matter the rejections, no matter the phases you've gone through in life that have actually shown you shege, like actually showed you that you can't do it, you still have to keep pushing. And I was just thinking, there can be fire somewhere that is actually like hidden under wet charcoal, wet leaves, or like a wet wood, and until you fan that fire into flames, until you actually fan it into flames, then it is not going to be visible for people to know that there is fire somewhere. So for instance, you've got the gift of creativity, you've got the gift of ministry, you've got a gift of teaching. If you do not fan that gift into flames, if it could be there, you could have the desire, a very strong desire to do things, to create things, but because you probably failed once, you failed twice, or because people around you are telling you, oh, you cannot do this, or you're going to fail, or because you do not have, you feel like you do not have enough support, resources to pursue that gift or that dream, you are just hidden somewhere. Just imagine if you do not fan that fire or that gift of God, that thing that has been deposited in you. It's all about purpose, but if you decide to be hidden, if you do not fan it into flames, then there is no way that thing is going to show. And once I feel like people are ready to invest in people who are able to showcase their giftings, you might be there, you might be thinking, oh, I need all the support I need to create this thing, to invent in this, and because there is no one around me to give me the support or the help I need, then I am not going to start. And you are there. What if somebody is just waiting for your first product, your first YouTube video, your first book, your first write-up, your first song, your first whatever, to be able to invest in you? Because there are investors everywhere. So until you fund that gift or you fan that fire into flame, then nobody is going to see that you exist. I am sure the most popular people, the richest people, the very creative people out there, they had to start from somewhere, and everybody starts from somewhere, a point where nobody recognizes you until you do something and somebody recognizes you and invests in you. There is so much going on in the world right now. People are failing at things, people are going through phases of depression, financial depression, and marital issues, but that is not our story as Christians. We need to fan into flame the giftings of God and what God has deposited in you. If Timothy had not fanned into flame the giftings of God, we would not have had 1st and 2nd Timothy. We would not have had those books, and those books are like a source of motivation and encouragement to most of us. So I am here to encourage you. just fan into flame. Just begin that thing, that purpose that God has deposited in your heart, that gifting, that idea, that dream, that purpose that God has deposited in your heart. Anything, just fan it into flame. And I believe that God is going to push you into your greatness, or push you into whatever you are desiring, or wherever you are desiring to go. You cannot sit there with your arms folded and expect God to feed you with the manna directly from heaven. As I always say, you need to go out there and get the manna for yourself. You need to show people that you've got fire in you, you've got that idea, you've got that dream, you've got whatever it takes to get there. Another thing I want to say is that the pressures of life will never cease. People who have made it in life, people who have pursued their purpose, Dr. Miles Monroe, Martin Luther King, all those people who achieved or fulfilled their purpose or pursued their dreams, it didn't come like easy. It didn't come like on a silver platter. And so the struggles in life are never going to cease once we are on earth until we go to heaven, So if you decide to focus on the troubles, the fact that you do not have something, that is why you are seated, not doing what you have to do, the fact that you are afraid, like the story in 1 Timothy chapter 1 that I spoke about initially. I'm sure Timothy felt very discouraged. Felt very discouraged because, after all, if it was me, like my whole master has been kept in prison because of talking about Jesus. If it were you, will you do it? You won't do it. So he felt discouraged. He felt a lot of fear and anxiety, and he probably didn't want to talk about Jesus or continue in his faith because the person he was looking up to, the person he thought had his back, or like his mentor, was no more. And this happens to us most of the times, and that is life. Trust me, as humans, sometimes we get our strength and our inspiration from people, and when they are no longer there, we feel like, oh, I can't do this because Dr. Miles Monroe is not there, so I can't do it. But Paul still encouraged Timothy to fan into flame, that gifting of God, because your purpose is not dependent on someone else's purpose. It's your purpose, and God has given you everything in life to pursue it. Though there may be challenges, though you may need support at one point in time, but it does not mean you can't do without these people, or you can't do without the support of humans. God is able to give you the support you need once you start pursuing it. And I feel like God has put in us everything we need to thrive and succeed at our purpose. Just that sometimes things come in the way and we feel like we are not able to do it. Another thing I also want to bring our minds to is in the parable of the talent. The fact that you are not pursuing your purpose does not mean you are going to have it like all together in life, or the fact that you are not pursuing that dream does not mean the other side of life is going to be softer. You're going to have that kind of life you want on the other side, where you're not pursuing that gift or not putting forth that idea into a dream. It's definitely going to be like difficult as well. So you have to choose where you want to go to pursue your purpose, follow that dream and build that idea, go into that ministry, do what God has called you to do. The parable of the talents also teaches us about hiding our talents, and with regards to just keeping that fire or that gifting of God hidden because of circumstances or because of challenges does not mean you go scot-free. The one who received the one talent and decided to hide it somewhere for his master because he thought the master was too harsh and he wanted to give back to the master exactly what the master had given him. Do you know what the master said? The master said, yes, you are calling me harsh, but you are going to receive punishment for not using the talent I gave you. At least you could have even invested it into a bank and actually like gotten some profit out of it. So God is expecting us to use our talents. He's expecting us to use the giftings that he's given us. Your ministry or your giftings is probably not going to reach people, 10,000 people, 20,000 people, or even 10 people. Probably your ministry is just to one person, that spouse that you're married to, the children that you have, the person at work, the patient at work you are taking care of, somebody on the street you tell, God bless you. That is probably the ministry, or that is probably you putting your gifts to work. And so if you decide to hide that gift and not fan it into flames for people to see that you've got that gift of teaching, that gift of serving, that gift of that idea, that's creativity. People are very, very creative. They are able to, people have so many skills, so many creative ideas that you sit and you listen to them and you're like, whoa, where did you get this? Like, you're on another level. And probably that is what God has put in you, that desire, that dream, that idea that nobody has. And so you need to fan it into flame. You need to start it now. You need to pursue it. You need to go for it. And that is why I'm here to encourage you. So don't give up on it. Don't let anything hinder you, because you might think that you're escaping one challenge. Trust me, the next step you take, there will be another challenge, and there is always challenges in life. But once God has called you to it, there will be moments of downness. There will be moments where you feel like you cannot do it because there's so much challenges around. But God is saying, fan it into flames. There are sources of encouragement all around us, from people, from books, from the pastors who we look up to, and from the Holy Spirit. Most importantly, God has given us the Holy Spirit so that we can thrive as well, and so that we can receive daily inspiration when we feel like not doing it anymore. And so we can rely on all these other sources to get encouragement and to get that push to go for it even when it's hard. So I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to keep that fire in you hidden. I don't want you to keep that dream hidden. I don't want you to keep the creativity, that idea, that ministry you want to start, that song you want to write, the book you want to write. I don't want you to keep it like hidden, because God needs you to put that thing to use. Don't be like that one servant, that one man who received the 1 talent and didn't do anything with it, because you are going to have to pay for it. This is it. Go out there, go for it, pursue it, and stay blessed. Catch you later. Bye.